Round 3, Alvin. This movie just dropped on Netflix. It's called Voicemail for Isabelle. And this movie is starring Zoey, Nick Robinson. And this movie is directed by Lynn McKendrick. So this movie centers around, we see Jill. She has this very sick sister. So when she goes to college in San Francisco and her sister suddenly die, later on, like after her sister passing, we see like her phone, somehow it goes to Wes, played by Nick Robinson in this movie. So when it goes to Wes, which Jill doesn't know, basically Jill, she always calls her sister and leave all this message about her life, everyday life. Basically, she leaves her all this detailed message. So of course, when Wes gets her number, he starts receiving all this voicemail from Jill, and he become very attached to her because obviously she's leaving all this, like her life detail message to Wes. So we see Wes, who lives in Austin, Texas. He basically flies to San Francisco to meet Jill. Of course, when he meets Jill, falls in love, because this is still end of the day romantic comedy movie. Like, it's not comedy, I guess, romantic movie. So what do we think about this movie? I must say, this movie, it is going to be for most people. It's kind of like a mixed movie, because center of this movie, it is dealing with such a, like, really is about grief. This girl, she's trying to process her sister's death, which is like so sudden, and she was so close to her. So every time this movie brings the audience to the grief, she's trying to process everything. It is really good. It really touches your heart. I cried a couple of times. I was just like, whoa, this is so damn tragic happening here. You are in tears. And same time, unfortunately, this movie also tried to show audience, Jill, she is going on this date. Like, so many dates she goes on. Like, I was just like, whoa, girl, like, this is too much. And one after one date, and all this awful guy. So those scenes, unfortunately, you do feel cringe as the audience. You're like, what am I watching, right? So this movie really doesn't kick in until we meet Wes, played by Nick Robinson. I thought he did such a good job. He really brought a lot of warmth to this movie, honestly. He really did. Every time he was on a screen and he was feeling all this emotion for Jill, you really feel as the audience with him, because this guy, he's listening to all this grief messages, and it's like a really human thing, right? Like anybody, if you hear all this sad message, of course you feel like I should go and help this person, right? Who is obviously trying to deal with her grief here. It's really, man, this movie, every time it brings audience to the grief and how to overcome the tragedy, it really touches your heart. But unfortunately, this movie also spent a lot of his time, she's going to this awful job, and also she's doing going on all this, like goes on date on all these guys. Those scenes really I did not like, honestly. And this movie has a lot of those scenes, so I cannot overlook them. That is why I feel like this movie, it is a mixed movie. It really didn't need all this scene, honestly. If it just focuses on her personal life and like the West relationship, I feel like this movie could have been really good. But this movie tried to do all these other things that does not work, unfortunately, and really feels this movie long. I was like, how long is this? Because she just goes on so many dates. As an audience, you were just like, stop it. Like, really, like, and all these guys are like gross, really are gross and mean, and I don't think it's not realistic. That being said, I don't know how old Joey's character was. I think she's supposed to be in college. Zoey, she looked really like old sometimes, and I was like, man, she's supposed to be 20 or something. She didn't look, and it was like her job, all the scenes she had at her job really feel very realistic, honestly. As an audience, you're just like who will put up with all this, like like a really mean behavior from her boss, right? Like, no, although she does quit end of it, but it took her a long time. I was just like, That means that this movie really, the way that we go to the toward the end, she opens her own dessert shop or whatever. This movie really never takes its time, tells the audience that she's really very talented chef, or she has talent for this. So when halfway through toward the end, she decide to be this chef, like, or open her own restaurant or whatever. It's really comes out of nowhere. I just like, aren't you doing internship all over? Because this movie spends so much time with dating that it never tells the audience that she has this dream. So when it comes at the end, like she's doing this, and I was just like, you should have more. This movie should have spent more time on that. This movie tried to do too many stuff, obviously. That is why this movie is mixed. Like, it's not perfect, but it's not bad. That's the sad thing about it. It could have been really good. Because it does bring really very raw emotion she was feeling toward when her sister died. It's just like so sad. A lot of people will watch this, a lot of people loses their loved one like this, and they will try to feel connected. But those, as I mentioned, all these things, they will see this and they will feel like, why? That is what I was thinking, honestly. Everybody has like grief, right? Like everyone has their own way to overcome grief. And this movie, I really like, I guess, end of the day, Wes, with the way he reacted, very humanly way he reacted, honestly. I did like once again, that character. I thought Jill was okay. I feel like it's not well written, but it's not bad, as I'm saying. This movie is not bad by any means, but it's not, it could have been really good. It had so much potential, but it is a Netflix movie. End of it. It's never a good Netflix movie. They're always half-baked, and this ain't different. This is a half-baked grief movie, I'll say. But overall, yeah, I thought this movie really, end of it, I was like, it could have been better. That is, I'm gonna say, and that was my thought on this. Let me know in the comment, what do you think about this movie? If you enjoyed this review, don't forget other reviews on other movies. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. Until I see you next time, please take care.